We are live, ladies and germs. And tonight we're going to be reviewing the IndyCar race from yesterday, the Sonsio Grand Prix from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway on their road course. And then tomorrow evening we'll review the IMSA Sports Car Championship race from Laguna Seca, which is actually pretty cool. The finish was certainly crazy, that's for damn sure. But that'll be tomorrow. And then Tuesday will be the long-awaited episode of Burnt Rubber that I was going to do on Friday, but I was horribly sick on Friday with a whopper of a migraine headache. Like, it was bad. So that will be coming on Tuesday. And then Wednesday will be Spare Parts, second ever one-lap world tour, and then they'll take a week off. So, plenty of content coming up this week here on the channel. So, without further ado, let's do an intro and get into tonight's edition of The Fuel. This video is brought to you by Reaper Apparel Company. Stay tuned until after the video to learn how you can save 10% off of your order. Hey, what's happening, ladies and germs? This is the PackerMan, and welcome to tonight's edition of The Fuel, where tonight we're going to be talking about the 2025 Sonsio Grand Prix from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway's road course. We are officially into Indianapolis 500 territory here in the month of May, because now we're going to be getting into the practice sessions, and of course qualifying, bump day, and of course it all leads to the Indianapolis 500 in 2 weeks' time. But for today we're going to be talking about the Sonsio Grand Prix on the Indianapolis Motor Speedway road course. And as you can tell from the title of this episode, the name of this episode is Inevitability. That is because Alex Palou is inevitable. I mean, even when he seems like he's a little bit behind, he really isn't. Because while he trailed Graham Rahal for much of that race, I mean, he was just biding his time. I mean, Graham, to his credit, he didn't do anything wrong. I mean, he honestly drove one hell of a race. It was just his team that let him down in terms of strategy and that final pit stop. Like, they basically fucked Graham Rahal out of a podium, at the very least. And he didn't even get that. He didn't even get a top 5. He finished 6th in this race. You know, and I can't help but feel bad for him because, I mean, he's trying to break a long-ass winless drought. He's basically trying to defy the history books, because no driver in American open wheel racing history has ever won a race after going more than 100 races without a victory. His current dry streak is at 128 races. He hasn't won since 2017. Think about that for a second. And he certainly gave it a good shot at Indianapolis. I mean, let's be honest here. The Rahal Letterman boys, they came to play this week. It's just that they kind of tripped over their own dick and ended up with worse finishes than they probably deserved. But anywho, let's get into things, because this won't take long at all. So Alex Palou won the pole for the second straight week, and automatically we're all like, oh boy, here we go again. What changed for this week as opposed to previous weeks was the tire rules. Before, you had to run once on the road courses, you had to run one set of each tire, the reds and the blacks, for at least 2 laps. This time around, you had to run 2 sets of each for at least 2 laps, which meant guaranteed 3 pit stops. Now, whether this resulted in some varying strategy, we couldn't really tell. Because, like with previous races this season, there wasn't much to really talk about. And that's mainly because ever since they put this hybrid system on this car, the racing quality, like the on-track product for IndyCar, has taken a nosedive. This is a series that used to have some damn good racing, and it just seems to have lost it, particularly on the road courses ever since they put this damn hybrid system in. But anyway, Kyffin Simpson, he wasn't able to start his car, so he wasn't even able to take the green flag, and he was out before he could even begin. And then Newgarden had to pit because he didn't have a working radio, so he had to give up a 6th place starting spot to start from the back of the field. So already you had 2 guys in trouble right off the bat. So we get to the green, and Graham Rahal actually beats Palou to turn 1. He actually got a better start than him and beat Palou going into turn 1. It's like, oh, pretty good. Colton Herta pits at the end of the first lap. There was some front wing damage after Callum Ilott and someone else had contact, which had both of them spinning around. Colton didn't spin, but he got right front wing damage, and it was actually rubbing on his right front tire, so he had to pit immediately. But like I said, Devin DeFrancesco and Louis Foster both had great qualifying runs and were currently 3rd and 4th. Marcus Ericsson got bumped off into the grass in the final chicane, but he had a drivetrain failure at that point. And Kyffin Simpson had gearbox issues, which caused him to not even be able to start the race. Joseph Newgarden was trying to bull rush to the field after having to pit before the start. Rinus VeeKay was the first to make pit stops. And DeFrancesco was actually closing in on Palou for a bit for 2nd on lap 18. So he was actually doing a pretty good job. Foster with a move on Lundgaard for position. This was after pit stop cycles. Scott McLaughlin actually jumped DeFrancesco for 3rd on the pit cycle. And Felix Rosenqvist was trying to pass VeeKay for position in turn 7, but ended up spinning himself out, but was able to get back going. Really seemed like the undercut was the move for the race in this case. Lundgaard kicks off the 2nd round of pit stops, but gets penalized for a pit exit violation because he crossed the line where the pit exit was. I mean, you might call that a pretty iffy call, but I mean, it was pretty obvious that he hit the line, and that's a no-no. Colton Herta was trying to get back by the leaders, get back on the lead lap. He actually had the pace, which certainly pissed off Graham Rahal because he had cars in front of him that he just couldn't pass, and that's just another example of this frickin' car with this hybrid system. But Alex Palou makes his move down the backstretch to take the lead. Didn't even bother waiting until the final round of pit stops where he would have the advantage over Graham Rahal because Rahal's team decided to put him on the blacks for his last stint of the race, which was the wrong move. And of course they made it worse by fucking up the last pit stop and costing Rahal a shot at even getting a top 5 finish. So we had our one and only pure lead change on lap 58 when Alex Palou got by Graham Rahal down the backstretch to take the lead. And I was like, well, GG's. Palou still had new softs left. So that was pretty much game over at that point. Award jumps McLaughlin and Rahal on the pit stops to move up into podium position. Palou pits from the lead on lap 66. For his final stop, and then Power jumps up to 3rd on the pit stops with Award 2nd and Palou leading. Not really a surprise that Power was up there because, I mean, he's won more races on the Indianapolis road course than anybody else. And then, for the first time since lap 1 at St. Petersburg, we actually got a caution. And that ended 408 consecutive green flag laps of racing. The one and only caution on lap 65 for David Malukas' car coming to a halt in the infield with an apparent engine failure. And let me tell you something about this caution. I mean, when you have the guys in the broadcast booth literally being excited for this caution coming out, and then you had the crowd cheering when this caution came out. I mean, if you have people actually cheering when a caution comes out, that should tell you how fucking shit your racing product has been. Because let's be completely honest here, IndyCar this year, as far as their on-track product is concerned, has been absolute fucking dog shit. And that's just the facts. So, we got the restart on lap 73 with Palou as the leader. Ferrucci locks it up going into turn 1 and flat spots his tires. And everybody thought, well, with the caution closed up, I mean, that erased Palou's 10-second lead, so it's going to give Pato O'Ward a chance to get him, right? Wrong. In just a few short laps, I mean, he had like 13 laps to go, and he ended up stretching it out to like a 5-second advantage and ended up winning the race. His 4th win in 5 races this season. The only race that he didn't win was Long Beach, and he ended up 2nd. So we're only 5 races into this season, and Alex Palou has a 97-point lead in the championship. Yeah, I mean, we might as well just give him the Astor Cup right now. This is just his 6th season in IndyCar. And he's basically just cruising to a 4th championship in just 6 seasons. I mean, I will give Alex Palou his flowers because he is, without question, a generational talent. I mean, he's basically doing what Dario Franchitti did in that exact same car when Franchitti was in his prime. Like, Franchitti was a terror in his prime in the IndyCar series, winning championship after championship after championship. To the point where Dario Franchitti basically became the most hated man in open-wheel racing. I don't know if Palou is heading in that same direction, but I mean, there's not a lot of people that are exactly pleased that he's just winning basically at will. It's like I said in the previous review, he's basically become the Max Verstappen of IndyCar. He is inevitable. Now, I'm not talking about the Max Verstappen of this year because, I mean, Verstappen has been the most vulnerable he's been in quite some time. I'm talking about 2023 Max Verstappen, when Verstappen won a absolutely stupid 19 Grand Prix in 2023. I mean, Alex Palou is just dog walking the field at this point. Now, we are coming to the first oval, and ovals have been his Achilles heel because his only victories have come on road courses. So, but once he starts winning on ovals, it's over. It's absolutely over. And I think he has the talent to be able to do it. So, yep. Not much else to say other than that. So, my final rating for the Sonsio Grand Prix, I'm not going to call it complete garbage because we did have some hope with Graham Rahal, you know, and all that stuff. And there was some decent racing at times. It was just... It was just more of the same that we've seen this year. So I'm going to give it a 3 out of 10. So it goes in the mediocre category. I mean, it is what it is at this point. But like I said, we got the Indianapolis 500 in 2 weeks, and hopefully that race will be able to save us from the dreck that we've had in the first 5 races of the season. So we'll have to wait and see. But that's going to do it for this edition of The Fuel. Tomorrow night I will review the IndyCar race from Laguna Seca, which had one hell of a finish in GTP, basically the overall. Like, it was one hell of a finish. It certainly got my attention, I'll tell you that much. All I can say is Penske domination is still alive and well, but it wasn't the 7 car that ended up in victory lane today at Laguna Seca. So we'll talk about that tomorrow night, though. So that's going to do it for this edition of The Fuel. Thank you very much for watching. And until next time, this is the PackerMan signing out. See you later. Hey, what's happening, ladies and germs? This is the PackerMan letting you know that tonight's video was sponsored by Reaper Apparel Company. By clicking on the affiliate link down below in the description box, you'll be able to browse through many of their different wares, such as hats, t-shirts, hoodies, and other cool items. When you place an order and you go to checkout, be sure to type in the code PackerMan and you'll be able to save 10% off of your order. Reaper Apparel Company. Apparel to die for. Hey, ladies and germs, just want to say thank you for watching tonight's video. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and also check out my other channels, Isaac the Survivalist and Our Honor Defend Archives, if you're a Buckeye fan. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next time.